How good is the Voracious Mouth from the January 2022 Gacha machine? I test it out with a few scenarios and provide my analysis and recommendations for it. Hey everyone, this is Wobbly Wallaby, and today I'll be analyzing the latest mouth item, Voracious Minion. It provides physical penetration plus 5% and final damage to target with over 70% HP plus 5%. This mouth is fantastic for physical classes in two areas. 1. It gives you burst damage to one-shot bosses. 2. It helps you one-shot monsters when farming. Once the target goes below 70% HP, then it isn't as good. Final damage is an uncommon modifier and is one of the highest damage modifiers in the game. One common back item that does provide final damage is Love Goddess. In general, final damage beats skill damage, and skill damage is considered one of the best damage modifiers in the game, so that should give you an idea of how good final damage really is. For example, when I use my Lightbringer's Knuckle Boost, I first use Haunted Candlestick, which gives 10% skill damage. My Knuckle Boost is 9.28 million. Then, I switch to Love Goddess for the 10% final damage. My Knuckle Boost damage is now at 9.76 million. Note, my skill damage without any back items is 9%. I don't have the popular mouth Light Food to compare with Voracious Minion, but when it comes to 5% skill damage versus 5% final damage, I believe 5% final damage should win in general, meaning that this mouth is better than Light Food when the target is above 70% HP. However, once the monster's health goes below 70% HP, I don't think 5% pen would beat 5% skill damage in general. Also, a huge warning to Lightbringers who use the Machine Revolution skill. Final damage does not affect this skill, so keep that in mind when rolling for it. People had tested this interaction with final damage from Love Goddess in the ROM community Discord channel and other places. The mouth item I was using before was the Gacha Huge Bounty for 10% damage to MVP and mini monsters, and all attributes plus 2. This is a common mouth item I see a lot of people use, so it will be good for doing comparisons. For monster nuking classes like Lightbringer, Voracious Minion is great for Knuckle Boost and Pioneer damage. With Huge Bounty, my Pioneer hits her for 114.9 million damage. With Voracious Minion, I hit her for 115.9 million, which is an extra 1 million damage. For my main class Novice Guardian, Voracious Minion is great when the monster is above 70% health. After that, it is worse than the Huge Bounty. Let's see an example when I fight the Fantastic Dragon from Panape Museum. I do these tests without doing Hallucination Walk. Voracious Minion's peak damage is about 6.2 million. When HP falls below 70%, then the damage falls to about 5.71 million. Next, I try the same setup with Huge Bounty. The damage is close to 6.1 million, which is good considering how much time you spend killing the monster when his health is below 70%. For auto attackers like Stellar Hunters and Tyrants, this mouth is great if you're trying to one-shot things. When I compare this item to Key of the Stars and the Gacha Shape of My Heart, the damage is much better, as one would expect. Key of the Stars came from the Advanced Kafka, so it's no longer available. I consider this one of the best free-to-play mouths in the game. For Shape of My Heart, this is a gacha item that I see a lot of people using, and it is very good against bosses, especially in long-term fights where its chance to increase auto attack damage by 100% will really add to your DPS. I personally think that most people aren't one-shotting bosses with their auto attacks, so this item is more applicable for farming. For these damage tests, I'll be using Tyrant instead of Stellar Hunter because the Stellar Hunter damage is just all over the place because there's so many damage buffs that can suddenly happen which skews the damage. With Key of the Stars, I'm able to get 904,000 damage. With Shape of My Heart, I get 880,000 damage. With Voracious Minion, I get 908,000. Voracious Minion wins, but I still consider this only useful for farming. Versus bosses, I think there are better mouth items out there, such as Shape of My Heart. What is my recommendation? Versus bosses, this is great for one-shotting bosses if you're just a little bit shy before. For bosses you can't one-shot, I'd highly recommend you use your item bar to take advantage of this gacha. If your other gacha is better than 5% penetration, then switch to that one once the monster goes below 70% health. For example, here I have 2 of my mouth items in my item bar. My initial hit uses the Voracious Minion for 9.42 million. When my HP isn't at 100%, then my damage goes down to 8.87 million. It then dips down to 8.4 million when below 70%, so I switch to Huge Bounty for 8.7 million damage. I can take advantage of the great initial burst damage, but then switch to something else later. Typically I would switch much faster than this, but I just wanted to show the damage numbers. If you need this for farming, this is a must-have, since I think this is one of the best mouth items for farming in the game due to its high damage increase. Especially as new monsters come out which are tougher, it never hurts to have a really strong mouth item to help you farm. Overall, if I hadn't gotten this mouth with blue tickets, I wouldn't have spent BCC to roll for it like I had with some other gachas. The damage difference isn't significant enough in my opinion, and its condition makes this very restrictive in terms of how you can use this mouth. What did you think about Voracious Minion? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe.